A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Hello and welcome back to Tinpot, Scottish Football Podcast. My name is Tom, I'm your host. I'm joined by Matt and Andrew for episode 21. Coming up in this episode we have a review of our weekend's fixtures, our predictions that we made last week. We're going to be having Mr. Debates. Our debate piece this week is all about style versus results. Is football style and enjoyment for the fans and fast-paced football, that sort of stuff, is that more important than just getting the 3 points no matter how it comes? And then we will be, as usual, having our quiz, which again is a surprise for the lads here. So that's what's coming up in episode 21. But before we march on, good to catch up with you boys at the weekend. It was only a couple of days ago, but yeah, how's your life been in between? How did you guys enjoy the party?
Yeah, as the host, alongside the wife and kids, it was fun. Yeah, it was a good party. Went well. So all the sort of planning and organising was worth it. To see his little smile as he ran about wild, and all the kids destroyed the expensive soft play and just went mental. Yeah, it was good. Climbed on all the animals and cars, so that was fun. How did you guys enjoy the soft play?
Oh, that's great. I thought it was brilliant. You did a great job. Wee one was having the time of our life. But yeah, all the wee cars and that were going down a treat, and it was good to see the famous massive football as well. Which was going down really well. So
best purchase,
it was class. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, Colin walked in halfway through like Brad Pitt, just fresh back from his new trim.
Yeah, real slick.
It's like almost like a special guest when he walked in. It was unbelievable. Yeah,
yeah,
that was really good. And
he was looking fresh. Yeah, it
was. Yeah,
it was fun. It was good. Lots of
how long was the
left over. So
how long was the clean up?
Quick. Everyone kind of helped who didn't leave early.
Oops.
All the people who helped. Yes, it was quite quick. A lot of ball grabbing. The guy didn't have a big sucker. I was disappointed. I thought he'd have a shoop. You know, a shoop.
And a hoover.
Yeah, like a big zoop ball hoover. But nah, we all just grabbed them and chucked in this big bag. And that was it. And then we kept most of the balloons, so I had to shove them in the car. So that was fun. And then my living room is like a toy shop, thanks to you boys buying the biggest and loudest gifts. So that's great. A giant ice cream trolley and a really loud fire engine. So
brilliant.
And the ice cream trolley makes noises as well. So there you go. Can't watch TV.
Oh, does it? I wasn't too sure.
That's pretty good. Like,
how loud it would be. I didn't test it out.
Very generous. So thank you for that.
So, you're welcome.
Other than that,
that's like a Toys R Us.
It is. And then my washing machine packed in again today. This time it wasn't a stray sock in the filter. I don't know what the fuck happened. The water just started pushing out the bottom of it. It's like fuck me out. So many towels ruined. The floor's fucked. And I just gave a big basket of wash to mum and dad and says, please can you wash my clothes like I'm a smelly student. So and I wash like bibs for a five-a-side that I play once a week, and I was like, please can you wash the bibs as well for me? So they're washing the bibs for fives. So not a very good morning.
Yeah, it's
I
going
was
to be an
working
expense.
so hard this morning, and then had to run down to screams of Magda, the washing machine leaking. And I was like, fuck's sake. 'Cause I heard a noise like the other day when I was doing a wash, like a rattling noise, but I was just like, oh no, it'll just be like a zip stuck in the door. But I think it was a screw probably coming loose and a hole being made within the drum. So
shit.
Contemplating calling out a man to fix it or just to buy a new one. I don't know what would be better value for money, really. Like,
if you can get a free quote, get someone to look at it, or a cheap quote. Anywhere cheap, like.
And that's the thing.
Do you have any contacts in your family, and when you know that could just come and have a look at it?
No, you guys.
Plumbers, no.
No, I don't actually. No, not here.
No one sponsors any clubs that are like wash machine engineers. No, Kelly Hearts.
Yeah,
Fortunately not.
surely you've got a few plumbers in your wee
No.
black book, Andrew, no?
Plumbers maybe, but the repairing a washing machine is like a special thing. It's like an appliance
Exactly.
repair
Ah, shit, I
shop
thought
you
it would
need.
just be
So I
a
was thinking
plum
like
job.
they're gonna charge a fair whack like to do something with that, especially if they like get a new part or whatever, you know.
I don't know. It just depends. I've done it a few. Well, I've not done it a few times, but my dad had done it a few times, and yeah, sometimes it's like a 20 quid part or something like that. And yeah, maybe you have to pay obviously for them fitting it and that, but it can be cheaper than getting a new machine. Yeah, so.
If only you hadn't spunked all that money on that little games console thing, you would have enough pennies left over for a washing machine.
It's not arrived yet, but I'll let you know when it does arrive. How much I was ripped off by some jazzy marketing and a nice looking website.
How long's
Unbelievable.
that been since you ordered it?
To be fair, it's with Every now, so who the fuck knows when it's coming. But
Right, okay.
it has been shipped from one of their UK based warehouses, which is actually from China. And the birthday sale where I got 55% off is still going. The clock's reset every single day. So it's like one of those countdowns. It's like 7 hours to go. And I went back on the website. It's like the same exact thing, like the birthday
Man.
sale. So yeah, they got me good.
dear.
They got me good. They had the Instagram ad. They had the nice website. They had the reviews. So, but if the console works, if it works, and I can play a game for at least a few weeks, then it's worth the money.
Yeah, exactly.
If it works, if it comes and it's just
time
like
off that.
tiny little fucking like key ring or something, you know, like just be like, I'll give a full review on the pod once it arrives, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah, we could maybe watch you play it on one episode once it's here. Just a full hour of that. Watching you rage at Crash Bandicoot.
To be fair, that'd probably get higher viewing figures than like than what we do at the moment. I think I can unbox it and everything, eh?
Yeah, you
an
could do,
unboxing episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then we can
Yeah,
all
some
eat loads
are.
of food. Mukbang. That's what it's called. Mukbang.
Bring back the mukbang.
Pizza crunch.
What's
supper,
what's your part, Andrew? With I know it's not a Rangers themed episode, but it's on topic, isn't it? Danny Role's been announced as the new Rangers manager. What are your initial thoughts?
Excited, yeah. Can't wait to get started. It's yeah, it's been a fucking crazy couple of weeks. So yeah, just glad somebody's in, and yeah, he's one of them that it could go either way, but I do feel that you know, he's got decent experience under his belt, but he's not the most experienced manager. But we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. Time will tell. But yeah, right behind him, and hopefully a lot of the fans will be too. But yeah, hope it goes well. I really do hope it goes well. It could really kickstart his career, so hope it goes well.
You're always going to have the usual pricks that are slagging him off from day one, like they did with Martin. But
yeah, you will do.
if enough of them get behind them, then there's an away European game on Thursday. Then you've got Killie at home. Then after that, it's a tough wee run.
Yeah,
Hibs away and Celtic in the cup.
Hibs and Celtic in the semi. Yeah, so it doesn't get easy. But I don't know. He's been fairly confident in his first interview. You know, saying that he understands that, you know, he has to kind of hit the ground running, and you know, for where the team are, they need results right now. So I suppose the only thing about his experience is quite encouraging that he's kind of been able to do that under quite, you know, testing and stressful circumstances at Sheffield Wednesday, and he doesn't really seem like he's a manager too set in his ways about, you know, how they have to play. I'm very boring, but I watched a 10-minute video about his tactics earlier today, and it was really interesting to see how diverse, you know, it is, especially, you know, how they build up for attack and how also they kind of keep the back door shut. I won't go into loads of detail about that, but it was really, really quite interesting. So yeah, if it all works out that way, great. And I'm sure he'll just kind of figure out with, you know, what he's got at the moment and try and make the most of it. So yeah, fingers crossed for a good result on Thursday. At least we're not playing sort of Porto or something like that, you know, which is all to come. But yeah, if he gets off to a decent result on Thursday, then, you know, who knows what can happen in the next few games. Let's see.
In some ways, a tougher fixture might have been easier to an extent, because if you've got a game
I
that
suppose so, yeah.
Rangers fans expect to win, and your first one, and you do slip up and the form stays where it has been, then it's off to a tough start. But
I've only really got
be interesting.
one session as well.
Been a bit of a roller coaster couple of weeks, so I'm sure the roll puns will be rolling in.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets on to a good roll and has a bacon roll and a non-vegan sausage roll on his way to the
Bacon
match.
finally back on the menu at Ibrox, yeah.
That's it, yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I'm excited for him, so hopefully it goes well. Fingers crossed, eh? Need a wee bit of luck now.
Indeed. Fab. Well, I keep saying fab. It's my new thing, and neither of you have picked up on it. I've said it
Fabby.
a few times recently. Yeah, it's very Steve McDonald. Hi, Steve, if you are somehow listening. Right, on to predictions then. So on last week's episodes, Andrew voice noted in to give his prediction, but we still got all three of them.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do, we don't have a graphic this week for the quiz, and that will be explained later on. But we do have for the predictions. So can you lads see this?
Just about.
It's I might need to pop it into like present mode or something.
It's in present mode for me. Oh dear, is it not? It's not in present mode for you. Oh no, I can't get out of it. This is going well. It's very Tinpot. Let me try and zoom in. Does that make it better?
There you go. That's better. Yeah.
Okay, that's not going to work for my animations that are happening later.
What happens if you press play at the top? Is that?
Yeah, that's
what you just did.
So I did that, and then
Is this not Microsoft
no, that's fine. That's still
PowerPoint?
zoomed in.
Okay, fine. We'll carry on. So this is the leaderboard after week 3. We've had 3 rounds of predictions going into this week, obviously being week 4 of this new game. Matt was on top. He'd got 1 correct score, 2 correct results, therefore on 5 points. I'd got 1 of each and on 4. Andrew, fairly steady, 3 correct results, just not getting a correct score. So languishing at the foot of the table. So on to hopefully. Has that worked?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this isn't going to work then. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, you can see all the points now though. That's come out before it probably should have done. Oh well. We can see what the results are. 0 points to Andrew, 0 to Matt, and 3 to me. But my little animations will work in a second. Right, Andrew, your prediction or preview match was Rangers versus Dundee United, and you had predicted an away win in that. So talk us through Rangers Dundee United.
Did you? Classic cliche of game in 2 halves. Rangers played really well in the first half. United played much better in the second half. So it was the best Rangers performance I think we've seen this season in the first half. That 45 minutes. It was pretty good. Asgard was great. His goal was fantastic. It's the first time he's really kind of turned up for Rangers, so it was really good to see what he's kind of capable of. But good energy from the team, particularly in attack, but just not capitalising in those attacking phases at the moment, which is maybe quite understandable, and that's why I didn't predict them to get the win. Second half, I thought Sibbald was excellent. His goal was great, but the way that he controlled the game by controlling Raskin, he was very physical. He was getting into his head, I think, as well. And I think that was one of the most important factors of United controlling the game, although Rangers just seemed to kind of fall apart kind of mentally. Great goals in the game. 2 United goals were superb. Rangers' first goal was brilliant as well. So from that perspective, decent. I was just very surprised that United didn't capitalise on a poor Rangers side. So I thought that they might get that record-breaking win. I think it's been 37 years or something like that. I think the commentators were saying so. Since they won there in the league at Ibrox or something like that. Entertaining game, but from a Rangers perspective, hopefully we can be a wee bit more consistent. But credit to United, really came back and were I thought very, very good in the second half, actually. Very well deserving of at least a point, in my opinion. Rangers were maybe lucky to come away with one.
Yeah, it's been the story of our season so far. We tend to go behind and then claw our way back into games. We don't tend to start too well. but Goodwin knows how to make the changes during the game, which is a positive sign. But if we could start better, that would be good. Ultimately, for us, it is, of course, when you're playing at the time a bottom 6 team, you got to be winning those games. So yeah, I mean it's 2 points dropped. Matt, you were looking at the Fife derby, and you predicted an away win for the first time in the Fife derby for umpteen years. How did that go?
Not well. Yeah, I kind of went on my heart on that one. I was going to say a draw. Didn't even get that, to be fair. Got a 2-0 defeat as you are entering the score there. Pretty poor from the Rovers overall. Robson started with the same sort of tactics and game plan that worked well in the first game of the season against Dunfermline, a sort of very direct style, trying to win the second balls and press them high up the pitch. With Easton and Hamilton, Dunfermline obviously learnt from the first game and changed their tactics and were the better team and led in the first half and got a goal late on from the famous Chris Kane in the second half. Raith were very disappointing. I mean, they tried hard, but tactically they were very direct, and when the one time they had a nice bit of play in the first half with the midfielders, then they almost scored. Other than that, they didn't really create much. Easton was an isolated figure up front with Hamilton. The wing backs offered nothing really. Asking Lewis Stevenson on the left to sort of play that position in a high intensity game like that, it didn't quite work. He played a midfield three of Byrne, Matthews and Brown, who are all very similar sort of players, very industrious, getting stuck in. We just lacked the creativity, and Dunfermline didn't have to do too much to win the game. They scored a goal from a set piece and then a cross in the second half, which is obviously disappointing given that we've got 3 centre halves on the pitch. So it was a pretty nothing game that we lost because I think the manager lacks a bit of creativity, a bit of spark, a bit of maybe tactical knowledge on how to maybe affect games differently. He kind of sticks to what he knows and what he likes and what he thinks has been successful in the past. And you go up against Lennon, who's obviously a very experienced manager. He's not going to fall into the same traps he did in the first game. And Raith tried to do that, and Dunfermline were just smarter and deserved the win. Worrying for the Rovers, that's 3 2-0 defeats in a row. We want to be looking up for the playoffs. We might be having to look over our shoulder. I think it's time for maybe a change of formation. He's been pretty rigid in his 3 at the back. We moved to 4 slightly, different formation, but it's got the same sort of tactics. It's been very direct this season. We've got a lot of skillful players in the squad, so maybe it's time to use some of the lone players as well. Like the boys we went for Rangers, Gentles and CO. Maybe it's time we give some of these players a chance to prove themselves. Otherwise, what's the point in a partnership agreement? But yeah, fair play to Dunfermline. A win to kickstart their season perhaps and push them up the table. And for the Rovers, it's just trying to get out of that funk next week with a big game against Thistle. Yeah.
Are set pieces a problem for Raith at the moment this season? Is that a reoccurring issue?
I don't know. I mean, certainly that one was a bit of a disaster. I don't know if you've seen it. The goalkeeper was just like, it looked like he ran away from the ball. He ran past the ball. I mean, we've got a lot of 3 big centre halves. We've got a big, strong team, so you'd hope they'd be better at defending corners than that. And in the second goal, it was a cross ball as well. So, I mean, you'd think if you're setting a team up with 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, 3 defensive midfielders, and then you'd hope they'd have enough sort of tactical knowledge and or experience to be able to sort of deal with corners. Certainly, if they think that the tactics are, or the way they've set up for defending corners, they can maybe take upon themselves to change that. I mean, Rovers have got a very, very experienced team, a very old team in some respects, with a lot of players that should know how to defend better than they have done in the last few games. So it is worrying that we've conceded 6 goals not scored. I think overall defensively it could be better. I don't know if that maybe a change of formation would suit certain players, perhaps. But when you play so defensively and then you lose the first goal, I mean that's hard to come back from that when your sort of tactic is to sort of keep it tight and win the balls up the pitch, and we weren't doing that. And we were letting them turn us, and they were using the wings better. And Barney Barney Stewart looked pretty much a handful up front. He was causing problems for our three centre backs. And Andy Todd as well. He got into a lot of good positions. He's a very exciting forward. You know, he had a few shots and he was putting himself about. For a young player, he looks very physically strong, very smart, getting into good positions. So it is a worry for the Rovers. I mean, Robson in the past at Aberdeen was very rigid. He was very stuck to kind of the way he liked to do it and the players that he liked. So you do worry that it could go down the same route with the Rovers where it gets a bit stale. So I think it's time to freshen things up. Let's get some players that we've barely seen on the pitch. And
maybe a conversation for the debate section of this episode. But do you think that managers, when they don't change from their ways, when they're losing games and they're stuck in their ways and they don't change it, part of it might be stubbornness, but part of it is because they feel that their players can't cope with playing another way or trying to change things too quickly? I think that football's just being overcomplicated too much, especially at this lower level, where you should be able to play, say, a 5 at the back and switch to a 4-4-2, chuck another striker up, or just change like that mid-game, because I think it's just getting overcomplicated, because they'll focus so much in training on the opposition and systems and passing patterns and all these things and how to break the other team down. And maybe I'm wrong, I'm not a fucking football coach, but it just feels like you should be able to change mid-game to affect the opposition.
I do wonder if it's and this is just very much speaking off the cuff, but I do think in a lot of instances that it is stubbornness from the manager, don't get me wrong, but I do wonder if the sort of player power has sort of come a part of it as well, because recruitment can seem, you know, very driven towards a certain style of play, and the only way that you can be driven towards a certain style of play is if that certain style of play suits a player, you know, or players, you know. So to have a team that, you know, effectively can't, you know, as you were saying, you know, play another way, is just mental, isn't it? Like it's crazy not being able to, as you said, just change to a 5 at the back, you know, a 4 at the back, or play 2 up top or whatever. You know, seems to be less flexibility in not just management, but maybe the players themselves as well these days.
Yeah, I just don't believe that any player doesn't know how to play a 4-4-2, for example, or a 4-3-3, like what their role's going to be. Yeah. If you're a central midfielder that's, say, as they call it, a 6 or a CDM or whatever, and they say, we're going to change to a 4-4-2, you're now like a flat midfield with someone else. Like, surely you know how to play that position. It's the managers that are overcomplicating it, I think, and it's not just about shape, it's just about patterns across the pitch.
And perhaps it could be
how to break
like our debate last week about the B team. Are they being taught to play these sort of rigid formations in the way they sort of play in a certain type, or are they being allowed to express themselves? Because then you wonder if these players are sort of learning the game and the sort of style that, because you know some clubs have a sort of idea that they like to sort of filter down through their younger teams. So I don't know if but then maybe that's more with bigger clubs where they have more of an identity. It's kind of a bit different in Scottish football. We kind of I don't know if that bleeds through the same way, so that you can sort of, it's the easier pathway to I don't know.
Seems to be happening at Rangers, and the only reason I've kind of got exposed to that is just with Stephen Smith being the under-19s manager, taking over for a game and doing an interview. But they seem very much dictated by however the manager of the first team is playing, you know, and that's how the under-19s play, you know. So I do think there's definitely something not quite right with not having that creative freedom, you know, in the 19s or younger as well, you know, for that matter, because surely these styles don't last forever and they go out of fashion, and you know, I know we'll come on to that anyway, but it just seems a mental way to play. It's just way overcomplicated, as Tom was saying. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's a big concern for me, is the overcomplication of it. That was a good wee review of Dunfermline and Raith, though, Matthew. Thank you for that. I won't go into anywhere near as much detail for Alloa versus East Fife, because I didn't watch the game. I had predicted a 1-1 scoreline between 4th and 5th. When the teams kicked off in League One, there was 4 points separating 1st and 7th. A wee gap's opened up now with Hamilton and Stenhousemuir getting results. But yeah, that league's incredibly tight. Anyone can beat anyone. Alloa had only won 1 in 5. It's now 1 in 6 for them, as it finished a 1-1 draw. The game itself, from what I saw anyway in the highlights, was very, very scrappy. A draw seemed like a fair result. There was a few chances in the first hour for each side. Alloa had a couple from outside the box from a free kick. The goal itself came from Luke Rankin just before the hour, and yeah, just awful defensive mistakes from East Fife, not synonymous with a Dick Campbell team at all, and was stabbed home from about 2 yards out. And then 2 minutes later, go up the other end of the pitch and get awarded a penalty, East Fife, so they equalised. And then from there on out, it was not one-way traffic like they could have scored 2 or 3, but East Fife definitely had the best chance of the last half hour. But overall, a draw seemed pretty fair. Was quite a drab-looking game from what I saw, very scrappy. But yeah, 1-1 I was predicted, and it was a 1-1 score, so that gives me the 3 points. My first three of the Prediction League. Yes, so we'll have a look at the leaderboard after week 4, and I've climbed my way into first place with those 3 points on 7, Matt on 5, and Andrew on 3. We will hopefully improve that graphic for next Tuesday when we do it again. I'll figure out how to share the screen better. But if you're listening along at this point and you're wondering what we're talking about, the episodes are on YouTube if you'd prefer to watch, and you can see that great graphic that was on the screen the whole time there.
Get yourself a Windows laptop, mate, with your MacBook nonsense. Get Microsoft PowerPoint, so I'm never defeated.
I think I've chosen.
Disagree. Both Mac boys, are you?
Google, mate. Google Workspace. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, press share window instead of share screen. I think if I'd done that, it would have worked. Yeah, it was my user error as opposed to software
I couldn't imagine
error.
being on anything other than a Windows computer, man. I'm so old school. Like, I'm an old. You put me with a
You're not
MacBook.
asking your old man for one for Christmas then? No, you're going Windows again.
Well, man, I'm still made of money, eh? So I'm like a wee old Lenovo or something. I don't know. Second hand one from down the road. I don't know. But no, none of that nonsense. I'm an old school. I'm an old school manager. Play it long. You guys are fucking tippy tappy nonsense with your MacBooks, eh?
Russell Martin.
Yeah, you're Russell Martin with your little MacBook, slipping it into your little pouch, putting it in your wee fucking man bag. Yeah, wee backpack.
Oh, God rest his soul. What a man. That does segue us nicely, Matthew. Thank you for that point. That puts us right into our debate section, which is named after the big ginger centre half, Mr. D. Bates. And this week, it's all about football philosophy, really. What's more important, getting the 3 points by any means necessary, even if it's horrendous on the eye, or entertaining the fans that pay their money and putting on a good show with attacking, free-flowing football. What side of the fence do you sit on? That's what the debate is this week. We can take it a bit wider and look at examples and look at maybe how tactics have changed, but none of us are experts, so we're not really going to have the hottest takes in that side of things, but we can definitely share opinions. Matthew, we'll start with you. What's your thoughts on all this?
Well, I initially thought this when I was hearing all the sort of praise that the Motherwell manager was getting, and they were saying, "Oh, this boy's done a great job at Motherwell." I'm looking at them with like one game, which was a sort of not lucky, but they won the game because the Aberdeen goalie threw one in for them in the last minute, so that could easily have been another draw. So they've drawn another like 6 of their 8 games or whatever it is, 7 of their games, 5, whatever. They've drawn a lot of games, that's for sure. They've scored 12 goals, they've conceded 12 goals. They've had fun, but they haven't won. There you go. Dundee are ahead of them in the league, man. Aberdeen are a point behind them. Aberdeen are like the worst start in history of mankind. They're like a point behind this amazing Motherwell team. Stephen Presley's Dundee, albeit having played a game more, are a point ahead of them. And I enjoy passing football. I'm not a Sam Allardyce sort of man who, although he was a bit ahead of his time, unbelievably so. I don't know that. I'm about getting results, yeah, but I like the teams to at least show some attacking intent, and I'm all for playing the ball forward quickly. I'm not really fussed about this sort of passing around the back, waiting for the right moment. I'm a Scottish football loyalist. I mean, Rovers used to kick off like they do now. Like, so I don't know how it was going, because Rovers used to boot the ball from a kick-off down for the corner flag. That was a classic tactic, and that sort of went away when I was back, because like some teams are just like booting it up front. You saw the Hibs Hearts game when they just like literally chipped it up and booted it in the air. Like, so I don't know. Football is going. I'm just talking in the because it is going both ways. Because you do have a sort of way that it's going. That it was Pep Guardiola for a long time, and like he clearly brought in that sort of tippy tappy style. Some teams are still trying to implement that, even though he's sort of going more direct, and teams are going direct, like Arsenal for the long ball side. So obviously it starts at the top, like big clubs like Barcelona or Man City, visionaries like Pep Guardiola create this style of play, and then it always filters down. The teams try and copy it, and it gets lower and lower and tries to copy it, and then you've got teams in like the Scottish Championship trying to pass the ball from their centre half. So for me, the centre half is a big bloody boy that boots it up front, you know, and you win the ball half the pitch and you score goals that way. You don't play it short from at the back. Like, I'm Willie Miller in this debate. I think that
I suppose sorry.
My overall take is results are more important. But
what's important to understand? Sorry, I keep speaking over you because your line's
I'm just
very laggy, and you sound a bit like a cyborg that just had gravy poured over his head.
Shut up, man! Don't look at my technology.
But I think it's so easy to get dragged into the debate, which you kind of did halfway through that, of what is the best style of football. Like, is it long ball or is it tippy tappy? Like, that's not really what the debate is, because in an ideal world, everyone wants this free flowing, nice, like fast tempo, aggressive football where it's like you win every game 4-3, but and you win the league every year and all the cups. But that doesn't exist. I mean, if you played a really defensive 35%, 40% possession game of football and still won every trophy like Mourinho did when he first came to the Premier League, if you're winning stuff, that is surely the ultimate. So it's easy to say, oh, I prefer this style of football or this style of football. Like,
I think certainly
that's not really
people,
the debate, is it?
I think certainly pundits seem to think that it's nicer to play that sort of way. Like, it seems to be the right way to play is the way that sort of Askews coming in and tried to play it Motherwell. It's the right way is to try and play the ball on the deck and try and win games that way. And then you're right, if you looked like that, you'd be, oh, this guy's born, you know, you'd be like a bit snobby about it. Whereas, in my opinion, Scottish football has always been about sort of harem-scarum type style, fast-paced, direct play, and that's how you're best to win in Scotland anyway. I feel if you're a team like Motherwell, I don't know how far that sort of style can get you before you get found out, and clearly they've struggled to defend, but they have scored goals, so it has been relatively fun. They've had some interesting results along the way, pushing Celtic close, drawn with Hearts away in a game when they were 3-0 up, so I don't know what that tells you. If you're 3-0 up in a game and then you draw 3-3, I mean, is the style really that good then? I don't know. It's good to an extent.
What are your thoughts, Andrew?
Sorry. Don't know what happened there. Fucking hell. I think there's like there's this idea of playing kind of pet ball, basically, you know, and I think a lot of teams are trying to sort of install that into their identity, their footballing identity, with long-term success in mind. And I just think that the truth of it is that it's all, the idea of it's all good and well, but the massive problem comes from actually being able to sustain that with recruitment. Because, you know, ultimately, if you can't consistently recruit managers that are able to play that style of football successfully, you know, for teams like, say, Motherwell, for example, then it's such a huge overhaul. You know, you're changing the whole sort of footballing identity of the club. And I guess to give Askew a little bit of a break, you know, he has actually done that, you know, within a very short space of time, where he has completely changed the identity of Motherwell's football. However, is it to their detriment, and, you know, is that going to affect their season negatively? Is kind of the big question. Ultimately, Scottish football is a bit of a bubble, but right now you're seeing trends change. You know, you're seeing direct football become a little bit more popular, and you're seeing, you know, old school formations like 4-4-2, you know, becoming less kind of foreign, and that's at kind of all levels. And I do think that, again, that maybe comes down to the ability to be able to recruit for pet ball all the time. You know, you look at managers that are maybe in some people's eyes, not successful, but in my eyes, playing pet ball quite successfully, like Arteta and Maresca, for example, trying to emulate that across, several countries and, several different leagues and different styles, the Scottish League's obviously very unique in that sense. I just think it's unsustainable. So, for me, results are priority, and I think that because of that, that's how football enjoys evolution a little bit more, because if we're all trying to play the same way, as you said, that sort of aggressive, attacking football, winning games 4-3, but winning the league or surpassing your expectations, it's just not sustainable across the board. And unfortunately, that style of football is so popular at the moment. But it's slowly bleeding out of fashion. So in my opinion, you get more diversity by playing different styles of football to win at any means necessary. That doesn't always mean it's boring to watch. It will mean in some instances, but it doesn't always mean that. So for me, I'm not a big fan of this whole play sort of pretty, in inverted commas, football. It's just get the results, and that's what makes football exciting. Everyone's not playing the same.
The issue with the possession sort of based football that Pep's introduced, which is if the other team can't have the ball, then they can't score. The issue we're trying to bleed that in throughout youth level and shite level of football, like you get in Scotland to an extent, is it becomes possession for possession's sake, because what Pep's trying to teach his teams and what these high paid players can do is understand what to do when you've got the ball on the edge of someone else's box. And you see when you watch a Man City game when they're not in top form, it's so dull. It's the worst thing in the world to watch.
Yeah.
They're just passing it around, getting 70% possession. But that's what's happened with Celtic against Dundee. 80-odd% possession. I saw Dundee, I think, in the second half had 19 passes or something like that. They had nothing, but they still ground out that clean sheet. And if you try and bleed that in at a younger level where you don't have the first touch, you don't have the passing range, especially at the back, it's terrible. I think that for me, football, especially at grassroots level or academy level or League 2, League 1 in Scotland, just simplify it completely. I'm not saying everyone has to go long ball, but understand the basic principles of when to play a long ball, when to press. Like, it doesn't have to be called tiki-taka, or it doesn't have to be given a stupid name, like a low block, or just simplify the whole thing. And I'm not sounding like a Luddite, as Matt said earlier, just for having that opinion. That I'm not saying simplify it to the extent where it's hoofball, but all these words that get thrown about now, it's just a pain.
There are definitely ways to play attacking, exciting football that doesn't have to be slow and has to be dull. I mean, a lot of excitement in Scottish football comes from getting them turned, getting corners, getting throw-ins. The amount of times I've been at a Rovers game and you win a throw-in up at the other side, you're like, come on, fucking come on, because you've got a throw-in in like the attacking third and you're like, might get a corner or something, Like, that's what it's all about, I think, especially if we're talking about Scottish football. It is about not getting it long, but playing aggressively on the front foot quickly. That's the way I like to see it played. And I'll bring it back to the introduction of the fucking short goal kick when they could fucking get in the box, man. When they, the defenders are like passing it back to the goalie. The goalie should just be booting it up front into the back. You know what I mean? And then you win a second ball and you have a midfield scrap and it's exciting and like, I don't really want to see a big fucking centre half, a giant head, like trying to pass the ball back to the goalie and everyone shits themselves and like starts fucking going mental. That happens at the Rovers before. Like when McGlynn first came in, like when he was trying to implement that style, and that's something we can get onto because he seems to have found a way. When McGlynn was the manager at the Rovers in his first spell, it was direct football, get the ball up front, Gregory Taddy and John Baird. It was like 4-4-2, two wingers. He fucks off for years, goes to Celtic under like the successful Rodgers period, comes back to the Rovers, and he's suddenly this sort of passing the ball about at the back stuff, and it worked for a couple of years at Rovers, and it's clearly worked at Falkirk. So I don't know. I think if you get someone like McGlynn, and he's kept that team from League One to the Premier League, it can work. But there's only there's a ceiling to that. There's a ceiling.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to eventually become pragmatic.
One of Scotland's best managers, really, if you
Yeah.
look at his record. He's really, really good. Especially at that level. You see how successful he can be at this level. And they had him in League One. Christ, it's a great acquisition at the time. Do you know what else is missing from modern football, I think? How often do you see someone with a lot of pace, like using their pace? For me, it used to be someone
Fast
getting
wingers,
in
yeah.
behind. Yeah, like fast wingers or even a fast striker with
Knocking
a
the
big
passes, man,
striker.
and running.
Yeah,
Running
like
at
through
somebody.
balls or running or taking someone on, exactly. And I think now the condition of footballers, like professionals or even semi-pro, they're all so much fitter than they used to be, so much faster, stronger. Like these defenders, and yeah, probably also a bit more tactically adept, that they can place themselves in the right position against a faster player. But you just never see,
it
like
drives
it
me
used to happen
mental.
all the time.
Drives me
Used to happen all
nuts.
the time.
Like Rangers have been screaming out for a couple of decent wingers for ages, on both sides. And we got Gassama and Antman, and seeing them play early on and driving at players, it was so exciting because it was just like, fuck, this is like traditional wing play, and they were successful in doing that. They had the skill to beat their men, they had the pace to beat their men. It was great, and then that obviously fell away. But if we're bringing this kind of debate back to what we all feel is most important is what's best for the fans. The fans happy with the tippy tappy kind of football, or the fans happy with results by any means necessary. Like you don't have to have boring football to be getting results. That's a traditional way of playing, as you said, but it's something that doesn't happen now because of this whole possession obsession. Where you want to be getting the most. Yeah, no, you can stick that on the title. But you I did that completely by accident as well. But you can but you get too wrapped up in trying to get the most possession out of a game and trust that a goal will come from that. If you just drove at players, if there's plenty of pacey wingers, as you said, there's plenty of super fit players that are would absolutely smoke a left back or a right back in the 90s, time and time again. Just go and do it. Like, that's more exciting to me, playing that kind of football, or the long ball. Finding that long ball now, because it is so rare. Like when it's pulled off and it's it works well, it's still exciting. Like, it's Matthew saying, like, you're celebrating like getting a throw in the right area, but it doesn't mean any of that is not exciting from a fan's perspective. It is. So this whole attraction to tippy-tappy football, personally, I hate it. Like, I really hate it. And I've seen it at all levels, and it drives me mental. And it's the heart and mouth stuff at the back, particularly. Again, Matthew was saying early on, goalkeepers playing to centre-backs, and centre-backs, instantly panicking to find a pass, because they're then under pressure by forwards. It's just, it's time and time again the same thing, and it doesn't matter if you're watching a game in League One, it doesn't matter if you're watching the Premiership, the SPF, the SWPL or whatever. Like, it's all the same, like exactly the same, and it drives me mental, and I don't find that entertaining as a fan, at all.
So we're
Some
saying
people are
that.
probably listen. Sorry, only
So I was
go.
going to say that we're saying that the idea is that the right way is to pass the ball, but that is more boring than sitting in a low blocks. For some people, I guess it can be.
I was going to say, yeah, some people are probably listening to this thinking there is no debate because getting results is the most important thing, bar none. Like, there is no debate between style or results. But the reason this debate is important is because there's still fans of football clubs that want a manager out who's getting results, that just isn't playing, pick a club, the Celtic way or the Man United way or whatever it might be.
The Honda Civic way.
The Honda Civic way.
Sorry.
Did I miss
You hear
something?
Brendan Rodgers' interview with the Honda Civic and the Ferrari. Anyway, never mind.
Oh, no, I've not seen that. That's getting googled after this. Yeah, so there are fans out there who just berate a team for winning 1-0 in the last minute and having backs to the wall for that game. They're still unhappy that they're not playing on the front foot, and it happens a wee bit with Scotland. I'm sure if you asked Kelly fans in recent memory, obviously they've had success before the last 10-15 years, but who their best manager was, they'll say Steve Clarke. His whole point at Kelly was to keep as many clean sheets as possible. He won 9 of his or 11 of his 19 games by 1 goal when he was at Killie. He only scored more than 2 goals, I think, on 3 occasions in the league, and just won games of football. It wasn't that attractive. You've got some of the best recent memories for me, obviously Jim Goodwin at United, playing some pretty ugly football at times, but got us into Europe last season, and has had a reasonable start this campaign. Derek McInnes, I think, is one of the most adaptable Scottish managers we've got. That's what I was talking about earlier, being able to change in game or change depending on the opponent and try and play a different system. I think he's one of the best at doing that. And none of those styles of football, apart from McInnes this season at Hearts, because he's been quite free-flowing and aggressive, but there's a dog barking. But before that, he was never really that exciting to watch a McInnes team, but still really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. For us, it was Walter Smith, and arguably it's the most boring, inverted commas, kind of football that Rangers have probably played. But it was exciting because he was getting the job done. Playing big teams in Europe, and sometimes it was 10 men behind the ball. But getting the results, getting yourself to the final, like it. If you play it well, it works. That's it, and it doesn't have to be. You're talking about Steve Clarke there. Just thinking about the results he got against the Old Firm. During his time at Killie. Sure, it might be sort of regarded as boring football, but doesn't that make that much more exciting? Because ultimately he's Killie's best manager they've had in God knows how long. So I don't know. I don't see how that is less entertaining, if we want to change it, slightly, than watching a team play with 70% possession and not get anything out of the game. So it's no argument.
Could we argue that potentially that Motherwell are trying to evolve because they don't want to? There's only so far, perhaps, that the defensive style of an underdog can take you. If they want to think that they can work on this style, eventually they can go toe to toe with the bigger clubs and sort of play the football that way, rather than sort of the slow death of perhaps in the past waiting to lose 1-0 with 10 men behind the ball. Is there an argument to say that implementing a style can perhaps give you more of a chance to compete, or is the ceiling a certain level for a team like Motherwell and the underdogs in a lot of games this season?
I think Motherwell will not and cannot really afford to be too strict on their style of play if they got rid of Askew, basically. So if they brought in another manager, you could see that style being completely ripped up and they start again. And I think that is, to be honest, not a bad thing, in Scottish football. But if they were to solely stick to that style of play but just hope that they can kind of shore it up at the back, for me, although the mission is to be, to have that longevity by applying that as your sort of, that's the Motherwell way, it's unsustainable. Because the amount of managers that you've got to pick from at a lower level, it's a massive roll of the dice to then bring in somebody else that can actually perform that and do it well. So I just don't think that necessarily that's a club thing. I think for them it's a manager thing. I could be wrong, but I could easily see if Motherwell, even did all right this season and Askew, say, got poached, let's just say, rather than them being in the relegation zone and then getting, having to force a decision that way, I could see them, taking on somebody that would be, potentially a completely different style. So, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But if Askew can shore it up at the back, then he'd be okay.
It's about players as well. If a few of their good players who are playing in this style get sold, or leave on freeze or whatever happens, they can't spend a lot of money, can they, in the transfer market? So they can't go and bring in players of a similar quality. I mean, that's what Hearts are trying to say they're wanting to do, is bring players in that fit their model, tick all the right boxes in terms of attributes, almost like playing Football Manager at low prices from unknown markets. That's their whole idea. But to come back to the Motherwell thing again, I just hate the idea of having a style personally. I know you probably disagree with that. I just don't agree with having a style at this level. You should be able to go into a game of football. If it's Motherwell against Livingston at home, you should be able to play a certain way. If you're Motherwell away at Celtic Park, you want to draw, you should be able to play a certain way. Probably quite backwards thinking, because you're thinking, well, if you've got good players and you want to play aggressive football, you can go to Celtic Park and still try and play that way. But Celtic, when they go away in Europe, it's happened under Rodgers. They tried to play that fast, and it happened under Ange as well. Try and play the same way that they played at home and they got battered. Same rules apply. The same difference in finance that those clubs have is, it's the same. Dundee United to Celtic, or Celtic to Bayern Munich. So why should United try and go and take, just for example, a game to Parkhead and play them off the park? Like that's not our strength. So I just don't think style makes. I just don't like it personally. Using the word style all the time, like what style of manager is he? What style of this?
But I think when we say style as well, we all mean the same thing. That's the big problem. When you're talking about the style of football, instantly it pops in sort of pet ball. That's it. And as much as he has changed the game, and it's incredible, that he's done that. What an influence he's had. It's just not sustainable at this level. Like it's absolutely not. So I totally agree with you there.
It's a different world, like trying to be like, oh, Pep Guardiola doing it at Barcelona, the best players in the world, doing it at Bayern Munich when he's bought the best players, doing it at Man City when he's spent billions of pounds on the best players. Like, come down to fucking East Fife, mate. Try and play
exactly. The thing is, they're all playing it that way. That's not all, but
so he's negatively affected to football, you would say, rather than positively, perhaps.
I would argue that, yeah.
With his nonsense.
But it's not his fault that he's influenced so many people.
No, exactly.
He's evolving. That's the thing.
Everyone
he's
else
evolving, and everyone's just copying what he did in the past. And now he's flipping it again, and the way it's going, it's flipping it again. So maybe in a couple of years' time, clubs will want to play direct football to a big giant fucking ponytailed striker, like wherever you can find them.
Andy Carroll.
Mahir, I could have got a gig for in the lower leagues. Like that's what will happen, surely. So then you go through a cycle and then say Motherwell, and then in a couple of years' time, football's evolved. So are you left behind if you have to, So Tom's right in that sense that football clubs should not get pigeonholed into the idea that this is the way to play and this is how you attract the players, or philosophies and all this sort of nonsense. Because obviously Rangers were fucking sold a gimme, like, in their by Russell Martin's PowerPoint presentation, or Microsoft, or Windows, or what do you call it? Sorry, MacBook. Fucking what's it called?
Keynote.
He definitely had a keynote fucking speech. He was like,
keynote presentation. Yeah.
But that's the thing. He is a good example of that, in the sense that he had a hell of a lot of possession in all of these games, but didn't get the results. So it just shows you that unless you absolutely definitely can perform that, at that level, and you're very competent at it, then ultimately it just doesn't. It's so high risk it doesn't work.
No one had seen Pep Guardiola's football. Well, no manager at the time in 2008-9 when he broke through Barcelona. No one had really seen that football before. It's similar-ish to the way Cruyff teams used to play, but the managers that were playing then hadn't seen that, in the modern game. So then it's taken years and years and years, but eventually teams have figured out how to play against that. Klopp came through with his gegenpressing thing. I mean, there will have been managers that have done it before, but he's the one that sort of coined it and brought it to English football. And then he was sort of found out towards the end. People knew how to play against it. Liverpool would score, but equally they could break them down. So now Arne Slot's a bit different at Liverpool. It happens. It's just like fashion trends, isn't it? It's like skinny jeans from 10 years ago, they no longer exist. It's now back to baggy jeans from the 90s. The mullet's back from the 80s. Like, it's the same sort of shit. And apologies to listeners for dwelling too much on English football. We've tried to keep it as Scottish as we can.
It's a wider debate,
we've gone down south a bit.
Yeah.
Because we try and copy our big time boys downstairs, But it's not just Scottish football. Everyone tries to copy what they do in the fucking Mickey Mouse League down in South, mate. That nonsense. All that fucking money on absolute shite players. Boring as fuck.
Yes. Rubbish, so it is. Almost as rubbish as you're both going to be at this week's quiz.
No. In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever, that world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield, or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
Yeah, we'll pop a pin in style versus results for now. No doubt it'll rear its head again at some point. This week we're doing a sort of 20 questions style game where you could ask me yes or no questions, and whoever gets it in the fewest questions, like Mina and Naveed, remember when they're he's trying to guess some actor or something.
Okay.
Never seen it.
Is it a team effort?
You've never seen style game? No, you've got one each. So whoever guesses it in the fewest number of guesses. And I'm not going to go back and forth because I'll lose track of who's asked what. I'll start with you, Matt, and you just basically ask me yes or no questions.
Okay.
On you go.
So it's footballers, not like actors or that. That's not a question.
No, it's to do with Scottish football, yeah.
So it's not like Brad Pitt or that. Okay, that's fine.
It's a person.
Are you still playing?
No. That's one question.
You put your thumb up. So it's a yes.
So I can keep track.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So he's retired.
Carry on.
Are you a manager
Right.
currently?
Current manager, the answer to that is no.
Are you Scottish?
Nope.
Are you on the TV at the moment?
No.
Are you French?
So, can I just ask a quick
what's
question?
the question, Andrew?
Is this just
So
one
you've got
issue?
a separate person.
All right, got you.
You're not both guessing the same
Oh yes, he
person.
goes first guess. Are you this person? Yes. Well done, Andrew.
So Matt, you've had 4 questions. It's a retired footballer, not currently in management, not currently on the TV, and they're not French, no, or Scottish.
He thinks you're French.
It's 5 questions.
Okay, a striker or ex-striker.
Yep, ex-striker.
Did you play for Dundee United?
Yep. 7 questions.
Are you Irish?
Nope.
An Irish striker, obviously.
So you're not Irish. You're a striker. You're ex Dundee United. You're not Scottish. Are you Chief G?
Nope. That's 9 questions.
I saw him score because obviously they're playing at Ibrox. I saw that goal where he scored when he nicked past the goal and he was celebrating
Yeah, he
before it went in.
celebrates before it
Yeah,
went.
so good.
I saw clips of that at the weekend.
Did you play in the 2010s?
Nope. He was retired before that. That's 10 questions.
So you played in the 90s?
He played in the 90s, yep.
But you retired
That's 11
before the year
questions.
2000 in the 90s. A striker for Dundee
No, he didn't
United.
retire before the year 2000. Didn't say that. But
You
he retired
didn't-
before 2010.
Oh, that's right.
But he did play in the 90s, yeah.
I always get them mixed up. Did you play for any of the old firm clubs?
No, never played for any old firm club.
Okay, speak on.
Are you from Europe?
Gonna quickly mute you, Andrew, whilst you're writing, if that's all right. Just briefly.
Did you play for did you play in are you European?
He is European, yes.
It's fucking solid.
13 questions.
Did you play
asked.
for
A
any other-
European man?
You played for other clubs in Scottish football, yes.
That's correct, yep. 6 guesses left. A striker that played for Dundee United and other Scottish clubs, not currently in management, not Irish, French, Scottish, but is European.
No. Did you play for Raith Rovers?
He did not play for Raith
No,
Rovers.
he didn't play
15
for
questions
Rovers.
asked.
I was thinking this guy. You think someone that wouldn't know as well. It's difficult. Did you score a lot of goals, or were you sort of more of a sort of?
Define a lot of goals, that's subjective.
Did he bang in like over 20 a season once or twice? Did you ever get it?
I'll have to go into proper stats here. career statistics.
So is he like a
League
sort of
goals,
prolific-
20 in a season.
Prolific goal scorer.
Never got 20 goals in a season ever
Never. So he's
for
shite.
any team.
So he's more of a second striker then, would you say?
I mean, his Wikipedia says striker. So you're on 16 questions.
Oh, this is tough.
4 more to go.
I'm fixated on the Dundee United thing.
Any other lines of question you want to go into about management, about other teams he's
Oh,
played
so yes,
for, about
has he-
nationality,
Well, so many nationalities.
age?
Has he been a manager after he retired?
Yes. 17 questions, 3 more to go.
In Scotland, he was a manager.
He's been managed in Scotland, yep.
How many questions have I got?
2 left, but I think we could probably go beyond 20 because it might.
Okay.
I mean, if both of you go beyond 20, we do need a winner from this.
So he was a manager. But he's not a manager anymore. So he's like.
I mean, he's not currently a manager, no.
So he still could be a manager.
If he wants to go down that line of work, then potentially. But he's not currently a manager.
I've got one name in my head. And what question am I on?
19, I think. 18.
Next week, Pat Lyon.
Oh, it's unbelievable! He's pulled out of nowhere. He's got it in the 19th question. Well done. What gave that away? What was your final thought that led you there?
Well, I was thinking a manager, a foreign manager, and the only foreign manager I could ever think of that managed in Scottish football that I ever thought was like Cowdenbeath. Kelly. Was he not Kelly manager? I just remember his spell at Cowdenbeath.
Yeah,
big
he was.
Mixie. He was
Cowdenbeath
like
to
Hibs
start
as
with.
well.
is he Hibs manager as well?
Hibs manager,
I think
yeah.
so, yeah.
I just remember he signed his brother,
And then
and
United.
he had big Armandoni up front. I wasn't sure
Currently
he played
at
for United.
currently at the Spartans as a sporting director.
Is he actually still?
Didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, just joined up with them recently.
I thought until the manager thing it might have been Colin Samuel. That's who I had.
Oh, there.
Because he played for a few Scottish clubs, but anyway.
Well, there you go. The 19 questions, Matthew, that took you. So that's
Come
the
on.
score to beat, Andrew. Your turn. Over to you.
All right. Is he Scottish?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Is he over 6'1"?
No. I don't have
No.
that stat, but
Oh,
I
you know it
don't
for
think
definite.
so.
That's a giveaway. Like,
Under 6'1". Okay.
I'll Google it.
That's fine. No, I'm just writing it down. Do you want me to give you time to Google it?
I mean, I will now need to convert 1 point something
Don't give
meters
it away.
into feet. I said something.
we know he's won.
We know he's over a metre.
Yeah.
He's under 6'1".
He's under 6'1". Okay.
That was
And
your
the
first
way
question.
You said that, I think that we're talking, top 5 feet. So,
Well, he's not
Taking
5'2".
yeah, well, that's it exactly. I took that from
Right, question
your
1. Come
answer.
on, hit me.
Has he played for either of the old firm?
Yes.
Okay. Did he play for either of the old firm during the noughties?
No.
Okay. So he's from the 90s. Maybe.
Technically, it doesn't have to be from the 90s. It could be a current player. It could be from the 2010s.
Is he a current player?
Nope. He's retired.
Okay. Retired. Okay. Did he play as a defender?
He did. 5 questions asked.
Okay,
Short
so
defender.
I'm looking for a short defender who played for one of the old firm in the 90s, retired, and he's Scottish. Okay, so pop him down. Is he currently managing?
He is not currently managing. That's 6
Okay,
questions.
it's not him then.
In the caravan.
I'm kind of struggling a wee bit here now, actually.
Struggling for questions.
No, I'm just struggling to think who.
You've got
who
a gap
could
of
be.
12 more to beat, Matt. 12 more questions to
Did
Ask more about height, Andrew.
Right, okay. Was he between the heights? Did he have brown hair?
Yes.
Brown hair. Okay.
A brown-haired man under 6'1" was a defender, Scottish, not currently managing but is retired and has played for the old firm. That's your 7 questions.
Did he play for Rangers?
He did not.
So he's Celtic.
Question 8.
So we're talking about a Celtic midget who
Oh, can
is
you stop?
brown.
Come on now.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Distasteful. Distasteful.
Distasteful. Okay. Did he ever play for any teams down south?
Down south. No.
Okay.
Question 9.
Not England.
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
Here we go.
Did he play for a team in
He's a-
the English Football League system?
That's down south, mate.
Oh, that's down south, isn't it?
He played for a team that played in the English Football League, yes. That's question 9.
Right, so okay, so
Apologies.
lower league then. Okay. I guess.
Well, I didn't say that. I just said he played in the English Football
I
League.
just have to take it from
9.
right.
Must get it in the next 9.
Okay.
10 for a tie.
Does he I don't actually know how tall he was. Does he
Basing everything off height.
Does he share a surname with a Rangers striker who is also a pundit?
What is that surname? Because
I'm just
I don't know if
asking you
there's
the
ever been a
questions.
Rangers striker with this surname.
It's a yes or no question.
Fucking hell.
I'm gonna say no then, that's fine. Okay. So it's not who I thought it was. Okay.
Well, I'm not classing that as a question because I don't have an answer for you. You're still on
Okay,
question
that's
9.
fine.
Well, you know, you've gained some information from that because if you're thinking like Boyd or Miller or something to share with that, that's an obvious surname.
I was
isn't
thinking about Tom Boyd, so
Yeah, that's question 10 then. Fuck you.
yeah,
Got
that's
information.
fair enough. That's fair.
So it's not Tom Boyd.
It's not Tom Boyd. Who the fuck is this guy?
Keep asking questions, I would say.
I'm trying to think. Does he? Is he a vegan?
Indetermined. No, I wouldn't say he's a vegan. From
Okay,
the little
he's
information I know about him.
He's not a vegan. Okay,
It's question
Not
11.
a vegan.
7 more for the win, 8 more for the tie.
Did he play for another team in Scotland?
He did, yes.
Okay,
Question 12.
so it could be him. Is he dead?
No. It's question 13.
Oh,
Distasteful.
fucking hell!
Oh, he's gutted he's still alive.
I thought it was Phil O'Donnell. So he's alive, and he played for.
He was a midfielder anyway, I think.
Did he not play
Yeah,
like
Phil
left
was,
back or
yeah.
something? Oh. Ew. I'm struggling. Did he
Matt's-
manage?
Matt's
Did
about
he
to fall asleep.
manage?
For
Did he
the
manage?
last time this quiz feature will be.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's a game of 20 questions. It's like your life's not dependent on it. Just ask questions. It's not that difficult.
Did
got
he fucking
beers?
manage?
Has he got a beard?
Did he manage? Yes,
What
he
foot
has
did he kick
managed. That's
Right.
question
Right-footed or
14.
left-footed?
Is he Jackie McNamara?
No, that's question 15.
That's what I was thinking as well, mate. Mackie Jack.
Okay. He's managed. Who the fuck is that?
How many has he got left?
That was question 15, so he has 3 more to win, 4 more for the tie.
I don't know. Paul McStay.
Paul McStay is wrong. It's question 16.
He's not a defender, so I can't. Well, I'll just say it anyway. Paul Lambert.
Nope. That's 17.
Fucking hell! I'm really struggling with this.
The audio's just gone very loud. Have you pressed the button over your side? No.
I haven't touched anything. No, I
just went really loud. That's good though. I can hear you loud and clear. Question 17 we've just had, so 2 more to go for the tie. 1 more for the dub.
I'm struggling. Does he? I don't know. Did he? I don't know. Does he have a driving license?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I think so.
Okay. Got a driving license. I actually don't. I can't even fucking. I'm struggling. Defender. Fuck knows.
I will say you've not really asked the best questions here, have you?
Defender. Well, I have really. Like if you think about it, he's under 6'1". He's got brown hair. He's got a driving license. And he's not dead.
He could be. I mean, things like has he managed in the last 5 years? Has he played for a member of the Edinburgh teams, like the 2 big teams in Edinburgh? Did he have Scotland caps? Like loads of questions. Has he ever won a trophy? Has he played it for Celtic during this period? I mean, there's loads of questions you could have asked that were helpful.
Well, he played in the 90s. I think we got that, didn't we?
No, you just suggested that.
Okay, did he play in the 90s for
Yes.
Celtic? Well, that's a waste of a fucking question.
Oh, you're already tied with Matt because you asked, has he got a driving license?
Oh, that kind of
don't know.
counted.
Okay, you're on question 18. This is for the tie. If you guess him right at this point,
Come on, Andrew.
it would be question 19.
That's
Can't
kind of
think of
sis.
any defenders. I'll just say, does he like sweets?
Oh,
It seems like a concession at this point from Andrew. He has given up.
I have no
convection
idea.
more like.
Nice one. Nice one. I like that. I guessed a lot of names, but I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
but
get it.
I mean, you tend to ask questions to whittle it down, then ask one name at the end. You're just not learning
Sometimes-
anything by asking. Is it Paul McStay? are you?
But I could have won the game if that happened, because I would have got it at like question 13 or something.
But
So,
you had so many questions in hand.
I asked good
It's
questions.
like being on the final green at the Masters with 6 putts to make it, and you take 5 just to like. No, it's like trying
it
to
was
get
good.
it in.
It was good questions I was asking. Fuck's sake.
They were rubbish
Jesus.
questions.
Take-
Matt, have you got any idea as to who this was?
Nah, mate, I switched off about 10 minutes ago.
If I said he also played for Falkirk a couple of times, played for Hibs, managed both Hibs and Falkirk as well.
Oh, John Hughes.
Yogi Hughes, well done. Yes.
That's a tough one, like, to be fair. I think you gave him the harder person.
Yogi Hughes is harder than Mixu Patline. I tried to get 2 very evenly matched people, if anything.
I know, Andrew got fixated on the Old Firm when Yogi Hughes barely played for Celtic, no? How many games did he play for Celtic?
Got to ask the right
I know, you
question.
should have asked more questions about his career, I think.
I've just realised that quiz has gone on for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I just checked the time.
Yeah.
Jeezy peeps.
That's what I'm
Sorry,
saying.
listeners.
Yeah, that's the first and last 20 questions on Tinpot, I think.
Hey,
Just
you gotta
taking
try
that
these
double
things out.
speed.
Yeah, just
yeah.
speed it up in the
Tom,
end.
you need to add in a little disclaimer before the quiz starts. Like, if you're about to go into work or
If you're
get
driving,
off the bus, I would end the pod now.
Yeah, don't listen to this. You might fall asleep.
Yeah, just, apologies, and thanks for listening if you are still here. I'm sure you've done better. I mean, you can't really have done better than that quiz because the questions that were asked were shite. You wouldn't
I
have had
won.
any
I
other
asked
clues.
good questions. Don't put me
Yeah.
on this fucking idiot.
You got it in 19. That's pretty good going.
Thank you.
But anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you've watched, give us a like, a share, get your push notifications on, as Matthew reminded us last week. Hit that bell.
That's right.
And we'll be back again for another episode on Friday. Until
Cheers.
then, arrivederci.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.